talked about Spanish Fork's loss to Provo earlier on in the segment. Spanish Fork also lost to Payson earlier in the week. Now, the Dons have size, they have talent, they have athleticism. Neil, why didn't they win these games? They weren't even close against Payson. Why aren't they winning?
Well, have you tried to play in Payson? That's not a. That's
well,
not
it is
easy,
a heck of a.
Probably, and
it's a fun place to play a basketball game.
I'm not real big on home court advantage, but that's
wait a minute. You can't.
No, I'm saying
you're
this is the one.
now.
No, I'm not flipping. I'm saying there's always an exception to the rule, and Payson probably has the best home court advantage of any. You know what? Provo's coach Craig Dury told me after the PG game, if we played that game in our old gym, we win that game. That old Provo gym was home court advantage. You don't remember that.
No, I never watched a game there. I've been in the gym. I know what it's like.
But I tell you what, that place was crazy. You had over the basket, you had fans that could distract the free throw shooter or whatever. That place was crazy. It was small. Payson's kind of like that. It's that small, older gym, and I think there's a real home court advantage there.
Well, if you're going to argue that, though, you got to give it to Spanish Fork and to Springville as well. They've got the same type of thing, even Pleasant Grove to some extent.
No, they don't.
Not as much, you don't think?
The Lions' Den is way different than playing at Spanish Fork. It's a notch above it. Ask the teams. I think they'll tell you that. And that's just part of it. I mean, you have to be able to go into places like that and win.
Okay, well, what's Spanish Fork got to do to turn it around then start winning more games?
Well, I think it's up here with them, honestly. Last year they made a lot of strides to get to the tournament, and you saw what happened when they got to the tournament. They didn't play particularly well because they're not used to being struggled there. Mentally, they had to figure out how to win, and programs go through that. You don't get to a level of a Provo or Timpview, in a year or two. It takes years of winning, takes confidence in that, and I don't think that program has that right now. And it's not going to come right away. It's going to have to come with some big wins.
Well, I think I agree with you that it's in the head, but I think there's three names you got to really point to right now. Dallin Naulu is playing really well. I'm really impressed with Naulu, but the three names that I think really have to step up: Jason Steenstra, Griff Robles, and definitely Kyle Patton. Those three guys on the interior, now they're getting some boards, but man, they got to get some points on the inside. You can't rely completely on shooters like Zach Clayton and Dallin Naulu to win you games. You got to be able to go inside, pick up fouls, get to the foul line, make free throws. These guys aren't getting it done. Well, they need to elevate their level of play for Spanish Fork to be successful.
The other thing you have to take into consideration is the two teams. I mean, okay, they lose at number 1 ranked in 4A Payson, and then they lose to Provo, who, if you follow the history, Spanish Fork doesn't beat Provo. That's just something they don't do.
Game, but
so yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with them either, other than a couple of tough games. But scheduling, as you say.